I would like to welcome everybody to the April 23rd Board of Trustees meeting. The mayor is on a well-earned vacation, so I, as deputy mayor, am chairing this afternoon's meeting. So I'd like to start with a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is the awarding of a new police IT contract. We had a contract through BOCES with a particular supplier. That supplier no longer is able to fulfill it. Sergeant Dunn went out and investigated various companies. This is a bit of a specialty contract because the IT requires handling all the data that's coming in from the cars and the cameras, and it's a big operation. So the sergeant went out. He did his work. He found a supplier in CMI technology support business, and basically this is a service contract to come in and take care of our IT. So I'd like to make a motion that we accept the contract. Hello?
Second.
Thank you.
For
Okay.
how much?
For now open discussion. For the contract is for $3,750. That is an annual contract.
Yeah, for the 1 year, correct.
That is an annual contract. And so basically, in this matter, especially because the police IT needs are very high. I think you did contact other vendors.
Yeah, they had other companies, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're familiar with a lot of the software we use, so.
Right. Because because it is the police environment, it's a special environment. These guys are familiar with it.
Just curious how that compares to the previous one?
So the previous one was roughly around $3,500 approximately. And they decided to pull away. They're not going to do any more municipalities. So they left all, they dropped the courts, they dropped the police departments, other towns and villages. For some reason, I don't know why. So they decided to get out of the municipal business, so.
So the former contract is just not an option?
Correct. They wrote us a letter saying months ago that they were dropping us,
Okay.
so.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, I'd like to call for a vote to accept the invoice for $3,750 from ICM Technology Support Business for a 1-year contract to support the IT at the police station. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, motion carries. Our second item for today is the hiring of a new police officer. This is a new officer. His name is Jaden Campos.
Jaden Campos.
Jaden Campos, excuse me. And he currently works for the Ulster County Sheriff's Department.
He works for the town of Ulster, PD.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Town of Ulster, PD.
You take it away, I got
No,
that.
go ahead. Town of Ulster.
So basically, I think, Lydia, were you involved in the interview?
Nope.
Nope, okay.
No,
So,
Gary was.
Gary
Gary and
was,
I,
okay.
and, yeah.
So the sergeant and the mayor interviewed him, and he apparently, what the mayor's reporting to me is that he really wants to be involved in the community. He's a young man who really likes Rhinebeck. He's interested in walking a beat and getting out into the community. Seems like a very energetic fellow. Is there anything you'd like to add?
No, he's very good kid.
Okay.
He's very young, so it'd be a pleasure to have.
Okay, so that means you can train him to what you want.
There you go.
Exactly. He has no bad habits to break.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So I would like to make a motion to hire Jaden Campos, at the rate of $26.50 per hour as a new police officer for the village of Rhinebeck.
Second.
Thank you. Any additional discussion?
So this is now two that we've...
Two, correct. Yes.
Okay, and how many more do we need?
Well, that was 2 out of the 4 that we lost. So
Okay,
we're
so we
still
need
working, to try to get back up to where we were.
Okay,
So,
great, but this is two better than we were
Two.
doing like a
Yeah.
month ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Okay. All in favor of the hire?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. With permission, I'm gonna push the number 4 because our engineer is not here yet. and we're gonna jump over to number 5. So we have an opening in the Village Highway Department for a laborer, and we need to post that. So I would like to make a motion that we post our job opening with a salary to be dependent upon experience. I'm not gonna fix anything at the moment. I'd like to open it beginning tomorrow and close it on 5/10. And Martina, you will go through the usual channels. So, second, thank you. Any additional conversation?
I do need a minimum.
No less than what, $20?
No less than $20 an hour. Any additional comments?
Just a suggestion, I don't know if we can put anything else in there, but I remember there was an applicant in the past who had some experience with trees, arbor
Right.
type of skills, and that would be a nice to have if we can put that.
We
in.
can put as an additional characteristics that we're interested in.
Yeah.
But for a
Not-
laborer position, we can't require that they have anything outside of that job description.
Right.
It's okay, Billy, can we have that as like a nice to have?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
So
Right.
just send over to me the specifics so that I can put that in the posting.
Okay, very good. So we have a motion and a second. I'm going to call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, motion carries. All right.
Are you
Our-
gonna follow up with Martina on the note?
Our village engineer has arrived. Good afternoon, Brandy. No problem.
Great.
So I would like, we have both our superintendent of public works here and our village engineer. So I would like to get into the discussion of awarding the firehouse apron bid. Just change my screen back over here. So basically, Ty and Bond will put out a request for proposals for us. And we received two bids back. Ty and Bond did do a contractor bid evaluation, and they came back, Ty and Bond did, to recommend that we award the bid to Contech Construction Technology, Inc. In the full sum of $159,900. And yes.
Back up.
Do you want me to add context?
Here we
Yeah.
go. So Brandy's here to explain a bit more in depth about the bid.
So, I wasn't sure if I need to move anywhere. So what you have in front of you is the results of the bid opening for the firehouse apron. It included the base bid, which is a replacement of the apron from the front face of the firehouse to the sidewalk, and then an alternate to thicken the sidewalk that's out there in front. Now we had a 6-inch sidewalk proposed. This would make it a 12-inch sidewalk. So that's what the alternate price is. So there's a base bid and an alternate. Your options are to reject all bids and do nothing, award only a base bid, or award a base bid and the alternate. All right. What our recommendation is in looking at the 2 bids that were received, both were qualified bidders. The base bid and alternate together for a total bid amount of $159,900 are lowest as represented by Contech Construction Technology. Lydia's holding her head.
It's like 3 times as much as like we've.
Well, so let me provide more context.
Okay.
Yeah, please do. Keep
Go
going.
wait,
So-
there's more.
Like, I have a very bad poker face, so just keep talking.
Sure.
Yeah.
So some weeks ago, there was a request made by the chief of the contractor, how much would it be? They were talking, right? They were just chit-chatting about what kind of cost might be for replacement of the slab. The slab that's out there was a 6-inch thick slab with wire mesh in it, and as you have all seen, it had been paved over at least once to give it a more uniform surface. When we were retained to put the bidding documents together, we prepared a design for the firehouse apron, and the design of that apron takes into consideration the size and weight of the trucks that sit on that apron and longevity of 50 years for that apron. And so the design, as we were talking, I said, it's probably gonna be a 12-inch slab. The design is for a 12-inch slab, not the 6-inch slab that the chief and the contractor discussed.
Got
So
it.
we're talking about a bigger, more robust slab.
Okay.
But what goes along with that is more longevity, more cost. So it is an investment.
More stainless steel, apparently.
It has stainless steel rebar in it, yes,
Gracious.
yes.
And the alternate, which makes the sidewalk more durable,
Yes.
is that in addition to the price that we already have for that sidewalk,
What
or
we
is that
would-
total?
We have a price for 6 inches of that sidewalk now. We would request a credit back from the contractor on that contract.
Okay,
And
so
do you
it's,
know what that credit would be?
It's about $10,000.
okay, so it's basically 21,000 minus 10.
Correct.
Ish.
Correct.
Okay. All right, that's reassuring.
It's 2 different contracts, so I have to deal with it as 2 separate entities, but it would be just a credit there, and it would be reflected on that existing contract. It would still be, your basis of award would still be the alternate at 22.5.
Okay.
When I spoke to the mayor, there was some discussion about the curbing that had gone in and whether that was going to need to be reworked or not.
Yes.
And if that could be avoided, that would also lower the cost. Have you had any success or discussion about that?
So the position that we're in right now is that there's no award, so there's nothing to negotiate at this point in time, right? So I've discussed internally with our structural engineers whether there are some small changes that could be made to the design to preserve the curbs that were installed. What the design that was bid recommended and designed was extending frost protection beyond the slab, because the slab doesn't have a frost footing, it just sits on the grade. And to do so, you would have to take up those curbs that were just recently replaced. So I recognize that's not as desirable. We can use a pinning system and try and pin those curbs to a slab that doesn't extend beyond. Typically, curbs are put on after, right? So we're sort of doing this backwards. So the structural engineer would be okay with that. And 2 other small changes to the slab design that might yield some cost savings if we present them to the contractor, if you choose to award this.
And is Contec the one that's currently out there?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay. So I would like to make a motion to accept the bid from Contact Construction for both the base and the alternate for a total not to exceed $159,900.
From the fire department
From
capital.
the fire department capital fund.
Yeah. I'll second that.
Okay. I know we've started our discussion. Any additional discussion?
Yeah, I was just wondering how far above is it from what we had budgeted?
We had, the only numbers that were bandied about were informal back of the envelopes. And it turns out that I think as Brandon was explaining, the numbers that were being talked about were for a slab that was too thin. So they were talking about a 6-inch slab, and they're talking about twice the diameter. So the numbers kind of go out the window. And I know with stainless pricing.
Well, I was just curious how much more,
Sure.
just in the sense of, did we budget, you know, I mean, is it? going
No,
to be a
it's
problem
capital.
because it's coming, I know, but I mean.
Yeah,
there's still money
so this wasn't part of the original, like sidewalk
Right.
stuff.
No, I realize that.
Yeah, so this was really just a request from the fire chief that as long as we have this company out there, we should examine this thing.
I mean, did we talk to Bryant about this number coming out of the
Yes.
capital fund? He was.
The mayor, yeah.
Gary, the mayor had me contact Brian last week in regards to what the bids were coming
Yeah.
in to reassure that everybody was still on the same page to keep
Yeah.
moving forward with this. Only due to the fact is, like I said, instead of starting one project and then having a company come in a year later, or so forth, we we definitely would think, with the work being done, we would probably be coming in higher than expected, I mean, even to what we have now. So that's, the fire department, or the chief is in full compliance, allowing the board to vote on the approval of the capital to finish this project.
So, and I think.
You know, the number from Gallo that you have in front of you, I mean, that's indicative of if you just had this as a standalone project.
Yeah, because we have an advantage because the equipment's here, the guys are here, they're already
Correct.
scheduled.
Correct.
Which is an additional.
$50,000.
$50,000, like 25% more. Yeah, I think, I mean, this is one of the situations where we kind of have to bite the bullet. The pad needs to be fixed. The equipment's heavy. We can either do it now, or we can do it for more money
Later.
soon.
Yeah.
Sooner than later.
Right.
Any additional questions, comments? Okay, I'd like to call a vote. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Is this because it says fire on it? Is it like way more expensive because it says fire on it?
So I had a lot of conversations with our structural engineers, and basically, the firehouse was built in the 60s, and fire trucks have not gotten smaller. They're bigger, they're heavier, and so we got the equipment here, and then we looked at ASHTO for modern equipment, and using the equipment that's in there now, plus what we anticipate in terms of weight changes as equipment is replaced over time. It's just,
Right.
it's really heavy stuff.
Right, and this is a 50-year slab, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so concurrent with this work taking place, we're going to have to, I'm going to let you come around here. Concurrent with this work taking place, we're going to have to close the municipal parking lot to public parking. And that will begin this Saturday at 8 a.m.
The lot behind Village Hall.
The lot behind Village, I'm sorry, the lot
Not that
behind.
one, this
to be-
one.
Not that one, this one, the lot behind Village Hall. And that's basically, we have a situation where the entire circulation of the firehouse is going to change. The trucks are going to have to come in and out of what would be the back entrance now. And in order for that to happen, we have to stop parking in front of the police, building over here. The contractor is also going to be using part of our Village Hall parking lot for his staging. So there will be some parking that will be available for police matters, but other than that, we're closing the parking to the public. And in addition, the stretch of Center Street on the east side between the town hall parking lot entrance and the no parking sign is going to be closed for parking as well.
Oh, for turning radius?
And that's because, yes, the fire trucks have a rather large turning radius. So once we do that, and it is anticipated that this will take the month of May until it's resolved. So it's going to come with a little bit more inconvenience, but
The parking there for the volunteer firefighters will remain available for the volunteer.
yes,
Okay, great.
right. But it's closed. It's closed for
Close to the public.
Closed to the public.
And the EV chargers will be closed down.
Yes, and the EV chargers will be turned off, so that there's no use, and nobody's too tempted to come back there, because we don't want to get civilians and our fire trucks and our police cars and the construction equipment all mixed up. That's just a recipe for disaster.
We're gonna sign that properly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I've had a discussion with the sergeant and with the fire chief, and they were going to talk to our superintendent.
We are all on the same page.
That is a beautiful thing to hear. Okay, there's no motion there, but that is informational. So beginning this Saturday, 8 a.m., the parking lot at Village Hall will be closed to the public for approximately 1 month. Okay. Moving along, we have
Did we all vote on that yet?
we don't need to vote on it.
Sorry.
You voted on accepting the bid.
Accepting the bid, okay. One of the things that we were able to do last year was we provided a full ADA compliant porta potty in the corner of our municipal parking lot, which remains open. And it's a rather commodious commode. It has enough space to turn a wheelchair in it and such. So we'd like to go back to the company that supplied it. It's a bit of a specialty item because it is this extra large size porta potty. The cost is $175 per month for rental. That comes with a weekly cleanout, on Tuesdays. However, if we need additional service, which has happened when we have big crowds here in the village.
We built that additional cleaning for Fridays into that bid as we did last year.
Oh, okay.
So we basically rolled the same bid over, and Superior even honored last year's pricing to this year.
Okay, very good. So it is anticipated that we would install the, this porta potty in May, and it would be on site through December, which is our busy seasons.
May through December?
Yeah.
Okay, because outdoor dining ends, well, sidewalk dining in the village sidewalk dining ends November 1st,
Right.
so.
Well, we will have the farmer's market does sort of carry on.
Oh, they go through.
carry
And we
on
kept it
winter.
after Santa Claus last year, which worked out perfect.
Okay, great. Yep.
So that was the thinking behind it.
Yep.
So I'd like to make a motion to accept the quote from Superior Sanitation for an 8A unit for $175 per month with an additional service fee of $75 for more than once a week cleanouts.
Second.
Thank you very much. Any additional discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, motion carries. Okay, next on the agenda is a mini park playground equipment repairs. So down at the Lions Mini Park, down here, the Lions have for years now been responsible for the purchase and the maintenance of that equipment, which is technically we owned and insured by the village. So right now, the older kids' play area is in need of some repairs, some maintenance, and some new equipment. And so the Lions Club has gone out and spoken to the manufacturer, the original manufacturer of the equipment, and they received a quote for the purchase. They're not 501c3, it's ultimately our equipment, so we have received a check from the Lions Club for the amount of the purchase, and then we will go ahead and use our purchasing arrangements to make the purchase.
Oh, so this is net zero for the village?
Correct.
Great.
Correct, so we've already received a check from the Lions in the amount of $5,515.20.
Great.
So basically we will establish a little accounting line, put in the accounting line as a donation, make the bid, make the purchase, and deduct it from that line. As you said, net zero to the village, and a chance to fix and improve some items down at the mini park.
And then we do the repairs, or?
No, they've been doing, this is.
Oh, they do the repairs.
Yeah, they do repairs. The situation with, as I was inquiring this, with playground equipment, is that you need people who kind of know what they're doing and are tuned into what the safety issues are. So it's not like, one of the issues that we've come up with, we can't just walk over there and do it ourselves. Things have to be covered, they have to be rubberized, they have to be tolerant. So it's a little bit more of a specialty item.
So this is all part of this?
This is all part
Got
of this bid from
Of the
Game.
bid.
And Game Time will do all of this and?
Yes.
Okay, great.
And this is, Game Time is the original manufacturer, that's why there's only one quote.
And just to be clear, this is for the larger kids' playground. This is not the fenced-off toddler area.
This
which is
has
still
nothing, this has
TBD.
nothing to do with the fenced-off tile area,
Yeah.
that is still a work in progress,
Right.
shall we say. This is just to take some of what the existing equipment is, there's some pinch points that have appeared and some other stuff, and just bring it, the slide needs repair, bring it up to standards. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the invoice from Game Time for $5,515.20 for,
Second.
okay. Any additional discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, motion carries. Okay, now, the next item is a request from the fire department to have some sealed bids. You can leave, Sergeant Dunn, you're all set.
Take care.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Pete.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need to. So basically, the fire department has 5 surplus chainsaws. They were put out for auction. We received the bids for all of them, but only 2 of them were picked up. So we have 3 chainsaws that are available, and the department thought it'd be a good idea to see if we could do sealed bids for these remaining items. So what I'd like to propose is that we open the bidding now, and we close it on Friday, May 10th. And that's just before our May 14th meeting, and we could open and award the bids at our May 14th meeting. So, you want that in motion?
Motion to request sealed bids, yes.
Motion request, so it's a motion request sealed bids for 3 surplus chainsaws from the fire department to open tomorrow, Wednesday, April 24th, to be closed on Friday, May 10th, and to be opened at our village board meeting that follows.
Second.
Any additional
And
discussion?
the fire department wanted closed bids, they didn't want to do it on the auction site?
Okay. We had 3 people who, yeah,
Okay.
unsuccessfully. Okay, all in favor? Please
Aye.
aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, motion carries. Okay, now we have minutes, which I think have morphed into hours. Thank you. Gotta bring a little something to the table here.
We have to do each of them individually.
So yeah, so we have minutes approval for the meetings of 2/20, these are all in 2024, 2/20, 2/17, 3/36, 2/27,
326.
3/26, 3/28, 3/12, 3/18, 3/26, 3/27, and 4/2. And I did see that there were several amendments. Have they been incorporated?
So those meetings were done by Karen, but I can make sure that those adjustments get made.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes for all of those meetings.
No, they have to be.
Yeah, they have to be done
Yeah.
separate.
Oh,
Just to make things easy, I will abstain.
fair enough.
Abstain, and only vote on the last one.
Okay, so for 2/20/24, all in favor?
I suppose you could do all the budget ones together. That's,
Oh, just call
that's
them off.
220 through 320.
Let's just do
Just
them.
call them up. For 2/20/24, all in favor?
Aye.
Need a
Okay.
second?
Second.
For, it's an auto second. For 2/27/24,
Second.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye. For 3/26/24,
Second.
in favor?
Aye.
For 3/28/24,
Second.
in favor?
Aye.
Okay. For 3/12/24,
Second.
can we get on this?
She's got
All in favor? Aye. For 3/18/24, all in favor? Aye. For 3/26/24,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
For 3/27/24,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
For 4/2/24.
Second.
All right, thank you, Eleanor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The minutes approval carries individually and collectively. Okay. We do have a couple special requests that have come in. They have been when we get to it, we can discuss the last one.
Memorial Day.
Under special requests?
Yeah. The Memorial Day parade.
Right. So we're starting with Memorial Day parade. These have been reviewed by police and fire.
Yes.
So I would like to.
And we have the DOT permit?
That's, I'm working on that.
Should work on it. Okay. And are these accepted? What's the actual action that we do for these? Approve the request?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the Memorial Day parade request.
Second.
Thank you very much. Is there any additional, this is from the Legion and sponsored by the village because we're working on the
That's
DOT.
the
We're the DOT,
Yeah.
we're the contact for the DOT, they're doing other arrangements.
Got it, so it's going on our insurance?
Correct.
Yes.
Got it.
So I will be obtaining the DOT.
Got
Gotcha, okay, very good. Any additional discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Thank you. Looking forward to seeing everybody there. Okay, we also have a request from the Distinguished Gentlemen's Ride Group. They've done this ride for a number of years. Basically, they gather at the fairgrounds. They come out on their bikes early in the morning. There's a little bit of a police escort to bring them out of the village, and then they're on their merry way. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the application from the, should I get the entity proper? From the Distinguished Gentlemen's Ride Movember Foundation.
Second, I just want to say that for just Distinguished Gentleman Ride 2024, additional information has all of the dates cattywampus, so don't rely on that piece of document for the dates.
It's not
Oh,
5/19?
so the event date is 5/19/24.
Yes.
Yeah, the additional information has something in 2023 and then something in 2022. They're just not doing a great job of updating their additional information.
We have, I was gonna say, we have this, I believe this is a cancer.
Yeah, November, it's for
yeah.
men's cancer stuff, it's great.
So, and they've done it in the past, it's been quite successful, and gone off without a hitch. So, I have a second.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Any additional discussion? Okay, call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, motion carries. All right, our next request is from the Beacon Arms Music. They have done this for several years in a row, and this repeats what they've done. It's basically some music within some time limits outside on their front lawn. We're all set there. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the application from the Tavern at the Beekman Arms for their, I believe they call it music, live music on the lawn, exclamation point.
On various dates, April 28th, May 26th, June 30th, oh, it's once a month.
Yeah. And then again, this has been, we've done this over the past 3 years, I believe. It's been quite a nice event.
Mhm.
And it seems to interact quite nicely in the village. So I have a second.
Second.
Call for a vote. Any additional discussion, I should say? Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Any opposed? Okay. Our next request is for the use of Village Hall for a walking tour. Again, this is a,
This is the kids.
for May 27th, this is the kids. This is again a repeat event that we hosted last year. It was all really quite nice. It's a history walking tour for Bulkley 7th graders, and they're going to come in here and discuss history, some theater workshops, and they're going to be coming in out here. It's a nice event for them, and they get to see Village Hall. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the application.
Second.
Thank you. Any additional discussion?
Oh, it's a nice walking tour, actually.
Very well done. So all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much. Motion carries. The last item on the agenda was the Interact Club annually hosts its car wash here in the Village Hall parking lot. But due to, but due to the construction and the things that are going on, we are going to be unable to host it because just we can't have that level. Yeah, so I did have a discussion with Dave Ping today. They're actively seeking some other events, some other spots. It's unfortunate for them. It's a great weekend for them to be here. It's disappointing.
Town hall.
They
I
have
think
to
they'd
ask.
like to have a loop.
I'm not. I mean, I would hope that when all the dust is settled quite literally, they'll be back next year.
Yeah.
But it's just a confluence.
It
of
has
events.
to be in May.
Well, they like this weekend. It's the opening of the farmers market. It's May. It's a high traffic weekend, so that it does very nicely for them. But it's just unfortunately we can't have the conflict with our public services here and our first responders and such. So it's a shame.
Yeah,
But
that was a
and
bummer.
it's a bummer. It's not. So Dave Ping actually withdrew. When I spoke to him, he just withdrew it from the agenda. So it's not in there, but I just
Okay.
wanted to let you all know.
Yes. so we don't need to vote to
So
deny
there's
or
no vote,
anything.
there's no vote, the application was withdrawn.
Okay.
So that brings us to the end of our written agendas. Lydia, you wanted to have some discussion about the comp plan.
Yeah, so I've had a request by a couple of people. The comp plan is meant to be seen online, it's meant to be interactive. A few people have requested if it's possible for the village to provide hard copies for it. It is 84 pages long, it is best printed in color on legal sized paper. If we did it, so if the village did this and then sold these plans to folks who might want them, we have to vote to approve, how many we're gonna print and how much we're gonna sell them for and all the rest of it. If we do it under straight FOIL law, it would be $21. 25 cents per page, it's 84 pages long.
That's on regular paper, black and white.
And that's regular paper, black and white, so I would need to do some math. If I have not gone to like Minuteman to get a quote or anything, I'm assuming it would be less expensive if I went to Minuteman to get a quote. Is this something that we wanna participate in, or do we just want people to,
This is while it's in draft form.
this is while it's in draft form?
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not even like the final.
No, it's definitely not in the final.
But when you spoke to them, did they know what the cost would be?
No, they sort of were assuming it would be more like $5. I just did the math like 4 minutes ago. And, it'd be at least $21 if we did it. So I don't feel like it's appropriate for the village to print a bunch with the expectation that we're gonna get $20 per plan.
Could we print a few and have them at Star Library?
Yeah, that people can
And
look
then
at.
people could look at it in the library and.
Yeah, we could do that, and that could just be part of the comp plan budget, that's not a
Yeah.
problem. Yeah,
I think that sounds like a nice idea, because I know that there's active links and such like that within the document,
yeah,
and you will lose those links,
Right.
obviously, in a paper copy. But I, for one, find it a little easier
yeah.
to kind of
Totally.
comprehend the information when it comes off that. So
Yeah.
we don't have to make any appropriation of money, but the idea is you will get a couple printed, they will go be bound.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm just doing like 2 or 3, I can do it downstairs.
Okay, but we'll maybe bind them and put a cover on them, and we'll ask that the Star Library.
So then we encourage people to see the appendices online, just so
Yeah.
they know there are
Yeah.
Yeah.
appendices, that they know they're not getting the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
can sort of put like a little note in the binding or something. Yeah, the appendices are 300 pages long.
Okay, and I think if you could, well, we can talk about some little techniques to go outside of the URL. But I think that's a really nice idea, A, library involvement, B,
Yeah.
an
Maybe we could even have one
eco-friendly
here.
solution.
Yeah, we could
Yeah.
even keep one
Yeah.
here.
And,
keep one here.
a friendly paper, not an overuse of resources, because God knows we.
Yeah, someone was like, just print off like 100 copies, and I was like, oh, yeah,
That's
that's not,
right,
yeah.
it's 8,000.
It's 8,000 pages,
color
and
pages.
we've killed a bunch of trees, and nobody's gonna look at it, and it's draft.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So I think that sounds like a good plan.
Okay, great,
While
perfect.
the agenda is open, any other questions or comments that people have? Okay.
I did have a question
Go
while
for it.
it's still open. I know on the, I think it's the May 14th meeting,
Mhm.
we had the public hearing for the enabling law for CCA.
Yes,
Um,
as well as the disability tax exempt public hearing.
Yeah, so Martina, at what point do you notice those?
10 days prior.
10 days prior?
Mhm.
Okay.
And we have to have a copy of whatever the final law is,
Yeah,
10
so I need to poke Rich,
days prior as well.
at least.
Yeah, luckily, April is a month with 5 Tuesdays. Yes.
The subtleties of scheduling.
So we have 3 weeks before our next meeting, so that's nice.
Cool.
Very good. Any other comments? I'll bring forward.
We're good.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to encourage everyone to come to the Earth Day event on Saturday.
That'll be fun.
Very
It'll be
good.
fun.
Should be a lot of fun. Okay, with that, I would like to make a motion to adjourn today's meeting of April 23rd at 4:11 PM.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you and good afternoon.